At the beginning of the story, we see two girls running away in fear from some soldiers. One of the girls attacks the soldiers with her sword and strikes them down on the spot. That's when we learn that her name is Catalina. She tries to reassure her friend Lyria that everything will be fine. Suddenly, a voice echoes from nowhere, saying that her efforts are useless, Catalina, and a purple crystal appears in front of them. The moment Lyria looks at it, she collapses and instantly loses consciousness. Furious, Catalina shouts that she has had enough. But then it is revealed that Lyria destroys the crystal without even touching it. A massive explosion follows, and we discover that this place is actually a flying warship in the sky. Because of the explosion, Lyria falls down from the warship. On the ground, on an island, we meet two boys named Gran and Aaron. Aaron asks Gran why he never seems to get tired while working. Gran replies that this is good training for him. Just then, someone calls out to Gran, and we find out that it is a small red dragon named Viwairan. Soon after, Aaron's father arrives and thanks Gran for helping him with his work. Gran asks if he is feeling better now, and Aaron's father says that with his help, he will recover soon. Suddenly, they notice a warship flying above the forest and are shocked by the sight. Then there is a sudden explosion and they see something glowing falling down from the ship. Gran wonders what it could be. Viwairan suggests it might just be debris. Gran draws his sword and says they should go check it out. When they reach the crash site, they see a blue glow. As they look closely, they find a girl lying there with a crystal shining in her chest. They try to wake her up. When she opens her eyes, Gran asks if she is okay. Frightened, she says that she is fine, just a little tired. Viwairan says he has never seen her before and asks where she came from. Lyria is too confused to answer properly. Gran, surprised, asks if she might be the thing that fell from the ship. Viwairan says that's impossible. Gran tells her that if she is in trouble, they will help her. Gran and Viwairan introduce themselves and ask what happened to her. Lyria, recalling her memories, explains that she had been imprisoned in a dark place for a long time and that Catalina had come to rescue her. They were running away from soldiers. Suddenly, she remembers Catalina and asks if they have seen her. They say they know nothing about her. Lyria describes Catalina as beautiful and very brave. Gran says that then they should look for her too. Just then, they hear the voices of soldiers. Lyria panics and shouts that they need to run. Gran asks if these are the people chasing her and she nods. Gran draws his sword and tells her not to be afraid because he will protect her. A soldier shouts that they should hand her over. Gran firmly refuses and a fight breaks out. Gran kills one soldier and defeats another. As they are about to leave, a wounded soldier fires a signal flare into the sky, revealing their location to the rest of the soldiers. They start running and Gran asks who these people are. Lyria says they are from the Empire. Hearing this, Gran and Viwairan are alarmed. Viwairan says that making enemies of the Empire is extremely foolish. Soon the soldiers surround them. But suddenly, Catalina appears and kills one of the soldiers. Lyria is overjoyed to see her. Fighting her way through, Catalina reaches Lyria and tells her they must escape quickly. She looks at Gran and Viwairan and tells them they should come with them too. They run toward the forest. After putting some distance between themselves and the soldiers, Lyria asks what they will do now. Catalina says they will leave the island. She has an airship, but it is a bit far from there. She asks Lyria if she can walk properly and Lyria says yes. Catalina introduces herself to Gran and Viwairan, saying that she is Lieutenant Catalina of the Empire of Ersta, and thanks them for helping Lyria. Gran asks why the soldiers were chasing her. Catalina says she cannot explain everything, but Lyria is very special and had been kept imprisoned. On their way, they see soldiers questioning a villager about a blue-haired girl. When the villager refuses to answer, a soldier grabs his daughter and threatens him. Catalina appears and kills the soldier. Gran also fights and they move ahead. But then Captain Pommern arrives with more soldiers. He tells Catalina that he will not forgive her. Catalina understands the soldiers' formation and tells Gran to take Lyria and run. Suddenly, a seven-headed dragon appears and attacks Gran, severely injuring him. Enraged, Lyria transfers her power to Gran. Blue light bursts out from her crystal. Gran regains consciousness and his wounds heal rapidly. Together they call out the name Bahamut, and a massive dragon descends from the sky. Bahamut defeats the opposing dragon, forcing the captain to order a retreat. Afterward, Bahamut disappears and Gran collapses unconscious. We then see a glimpse of Gran's childhood, where he is reading a letter from his father about astrals and dragons. He dreams of becoming a skyfarer. In the present, Gran wakes up and sees Lyria crying beside him. Catalina explains that the Empire has retreated. She reveals that Lyria was part of research involving crystals and that her power was meant to control the beasts of the astrals. Lyria says that she merged her power with Gran, and now they cannot be separated. Catalina warns that if they are separated they could die. They must leave the island. The villagers celebrate for them, but Catalina apologizes. Gran declares that he will go with them to search for his father and learn more about the Astral Island. Vuaren decides to join as well. Catalina says the answers about Lyria's truth will also be found on Astral Island. Gran announces to the villagers that he is beginning his journey with Lyria and Catalina. Catalina explains that they will travel to a place called the Dark Abyss. The villagers are shocked because it is known to be filled with dangerous wild beasts. She says she has discovered that the island's location lies beyond the Dark Abyss. Aaron interrupts anxiously, asking if they have truly decided on such a dangerous journey and why Gran must go too, since the Empire will target him as well. Gran says he chose to go himself. Aaron becomes angry and says Gran never thinks logically. Aaron's father steps in and says Gran has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. Ever since he received his father's letter, he has been training for this moment. Aaron, saddened, asks if Gran will return after meeting his father. Gran smiles and promises that he will definitely come back. Just then, Lyria's stomach growls from hunger, making everyone laugh. They all share a meal together. The next day they prepare to leave. Gran is amazed seeing an airship for the first time. Aaron's father tells him that the weather is the same as the day his father left and encourages him to move forward, see what his father saw, and give everything to find him. Catalina pilots the ship, but instead of ascending, it starts descending. Vuaren shouts to pull the lever up, and soon they are flying above the clouds, amazed by the view. Gran says he never realized how small their island was, but he has promised to return and he will. However, not long after, the ship crashes onto Einahan Island and breaks apart. Fortunately, no one is seriously hurt. A man on the island sees the crash and approaches them. Looking at the wreckage, he says they have completely broken the ship and burned the engine. It may never fly again. He angrily asks who was foolish enough to pilot it. Catalina admits it was her. He questions her about the temperature and speed settings and she looks confused. He angrily says she doesn't even know basic things and yet flew such a fine ship. He tells her to get proper training before flying again and storms off. Vuaren says they need a place to rest, so Catalina suggests heading toward the city. In the city, Gran is amazed by the crowds and the airships flying in the sky. Catalina explains that the markets are full of ship equipment and that this island is not under the Empire's control, so they are safe here. They plan to continue their journey using another passenger ship. In the market, Catalina shows affection for cats and cute animals. Gran is fascinated by swords. Lyria is drawn to a beautiful diary notebook. Catalina suggests buying it and says she will teach Lyria how to read and write, which makes Lyria very happy. They are amazed by the tall buildings. Standing before a large castle, Gran asks what it is. An old man says they must not be from here and explains that it is a resting place for merchants. They rent a room for the night. The next morning they try to book seats on a ship, but all seats are full. Suddenly, a large ship arrives at the harbor and Gran is thrilled to see it. The same man who scolded them earlier appears. His name is Rakkam. He compliments their taste in ships and says that if they love the sky and flying, they should learn how to pilot properly and understand wind directions. Vuaren asks if he is a skyfarer. Rakkam says he used to be one but has quit. He takes them somewhere, and they are shocked to see their broken ship restored like new. Gran asks how he did it. Rakkam says he is highly skilled at such work. He says he will give them the ship, but only someone sensible will pilot it. Suddenly, two boys come running and ask for help. They claim they have an extra warship and ask if they want it. Gran and Lyria nod in surprise, but Rakkam grows suspicious and asks what they really want. The boys ask if they will buy apples from them. Vuaren runs excitedly toward the apples, but Lyria stops him, remembering Catalina's warning not to trust strangers. One of the boys mentions Lieutenant Catalina, realizing he made a mistake. His friend draws a sword and says they will have to use force. Rakkam pulls the ship's rope and tells Gran that when he gives the signal, they must run immediately. They start running but the two boys chase them. Gran tells Vuaren to take Lyria and go while he holds them off. Vuaren refuses to leave him. The boys attack using crystals and a massive explosion erupts there. Suddenly the plants on the walls begin to shake. The ceiling collapses and everything shrinks and gathers into one place. They hear Rakkam's voice calling them from an underground passage. They immediately go down, where Rakkam tells them that this is a secret corridor built during the war. He tells Gran that he is very careless, but his future is very bright, and that he should think carefully before taking any step. Upstairs, Catalina is searching for them. Suddenly, a trapdoor opens and Gran, Lyria, and Vuaren come out with Rakkam. Lyria explains that Rakkam helped them. Rakkam says that he will not help again and leaves from there. After that, they go to a restaurant where Gran explains that the Empire is chasing them. Catalina says this place is not safe and that they need to leave quickly. However, there are no seats available on any passenger ship. Just then, a small girl approaches them. She says it looks like they are in trouble and that she can help. She introduces herself as Sirocart and says she owns a shop. Lyria is surprised that such a small girl runs a shop. Catalina explains that she belongs to the Harvan lineage, who do not grow physically but are mature. Catalina asks if she can arrange a warship for them. Sirocart says that all ships are currently busy, but she has a small ship for sale. Catalina says they do not have a pilot. Sirocart replies that finding a ship is difficult, but finding a retired captain is much easier, like that pilot, Rakkam. They go to Rakkam and see that his ship is now in magnificent condition. Suddenly they hear the voices of soldiers and quickly hide. The soldiers' commander is an arrogant man whom Catalina recognizes. He declares that he will kill everyone in the city. One soldier objects to this and the commander kills him on the spot. Due to some movement from Lyria and Gran, the commander realizes someone is hiding there and orders the building to be blown up, but they manage to escape before the destruction. The commander recognizes Catalina and mockingly says it is good that he found her. He orders her immediate arrest. At that moment, a bullet is fired from a distant cave. It does not hit a soldier on purpose but instead opens the door to the underground passage. Gran understands that Rakkam has opened an escape route. They immediately run down. Below, Catalina is very worried, but they see light ahead and Rakkam is there. Angrily, he says not to thank him again. He claims he was not saving them but protecting his ship. The passage leads to his home and they will stay there for now. His house is messy with ship drawings everywhere. Rakkam apologizes for the mess. Gran says they need a captain. Rakkam refuses, saying he will only fly his own ship. He shares a story from his childhood about his attachment to ships. He says he does not believe in superstition that a ship chooses its captain. Then he tells Gran that he is talented and that he can teach him. Catalina interrupts and says they must warn the islanders that the Empire is planning to wipe them out. She thanks Rakkam. Rakkam responds that now that he knows the Empire's plan, he will go with them. Meanwhile, the soldiers' commander is shouting angrily about how Catalina escaped and who the sniper was that helped her. He says it does not matter because they will destroy the entire island. He asks a soldier if everything is ready, and the soldier replies that it is. Suddenly the weather changes and strong winds begin to blow. Rakkam is shocked because it does not seem natural. Catalina wonders what their plan could be and whether they have weapons capable of destroying the entire island. Their conversation is interrupted by the voices of the two boys who attacked them in the market. Vuaren nervously asks what they want this time. Catalina understands and says they want to take Lyria back, and she will not let them even touch her. One of the boys replies that they are not here for something that's serious. They are just keeping their promise. Their offer still stands. Lyria asks in surprise if they truly want to give them their warship. The boy says yes and that no payment is required. Catalina angrily says that until they know who they are and what their purpose is, they will not accept any help from them. The two boys become angry and say that then they will have to use force. One boy attacks Gran with an exploding crystal, but Rakkam saves him and immediately counterattacks. The other boy attacks Catalina, and Gran joins the fight as well. At that moment, the weather worsens even further and tornadoes begin to form. The two boys retreat, saying it is time to fall back and quickly escape. Vuaren, annoyed, says they left without telling who they are or why they wanted to help. Catalina realizes that the Empire is divided into many factions and that not everyone serves under the same general. However, Lyria feels something ominous from the weather. The storm grows more intense and tornadoes begin uprooting houses. Chaos spreads everywhere. People run toward the castle for shelter, hoping it will withstand the storm. But the sound of the storm keeps increasing. Gran and Rakkam go outside to assess the situation. The castle windows start breaking, and they realize the castle will not hold much longer. Rakkam asks the harbor master if there is any ship available. The harbor master says there is one at the dock. Rakkam asks if anyone can pilot it. A man says no one can, but Rakkam can, and begs him to at least save the women and children. Rakkam says to trust him. He has plenty of experience flying in such strong winds. He goes to prepare the ship. Suddenly, a warship takes aim and begins firing at them. The arrogant commander's voice comes from the warship. He says he will tell them a secret. He reveals that the island is now under the effect of the Lady of the Winds, who ruled the island long ago and is now angry because the people stopped believing in her existence and forgot her. He begins laughing loudly. Lyria says she needs a ship that can fly close to the Lady of the Winds because she can stop her. Catalina refuses, saying she cannot put her in danger. Lyria insists and says she knows what she has to do. Rakkam says he does not fully understand what is happening, but if it can save lives he will help. They board Rakkam's ship. He speaks to the ship, asking whether it does not accept him or does not want to leave the island. He says he still hopes they will fly together. He pulls the lever, the sails rise and the ship lifts into the sky. In the sky, Gran asks if the ship is safe. Rakkam confidently says yes and asks Lyria where they should go. Lyria points toward a massive cloud and says the Lady of the Winds is there. Gran can also feel her presence because he now shares Lyria's power. On the warship, the commander asks whether the device is functioning properly. A soldier replies that it is working perfectly and that the power of the Lady of the Winds is even greater than they expected. The Lady of the Winds attacks with meteors and massive rocks, but Rakkam manages to evade them. Her assault grows even more intense. Rakham asks Gran how to reach maximum speed. Gran replies that you pull the power lever all the way. Rakham smirks and says he has a better method and he pushes the lever downward instead. The ship drops sharply and escapes the danger below. Then he pulls the lever back up. They notice a purple crystal embedded in the Lady of the Wind's chest, and the soldiers are controlling her through it. Lyria holds her own crystal and tries to communicate with her, begging her not to destroy the island. But the lady gives no response and continues attacking. Lyria tells them to take the ship higher. Rakham steers the ship upward, and Lyria tells Gran that the Emperor is controlling her through the crystal and that breaking it is the only solution. She gives Gran extra power, and amid the fierce winds and meteors, Gran jumps off the edge of the ship. Fighting his way through the rocks, he manages to destroy the crystal. As soon as it shatters, all the flying stones disappear. However, Gran begins to fall downward. The Lady of the Winds regains her senses and saves Gran, bringing him back safely to the ship. Rakham apologizes to her, saying they had forgotten her. They assumed the weather was natural, when in truth she was the reason for their prosperity. The lady smiles and disappears, leaving behind a gemstone with Lyria as a gift. After that, they return to the island. Lyria tells everyone that the Lady of the Winds is now fine and the weather will remain stable. Rakham scolds the people, saying they are also to blame because they should have remembered her. The city returns to normal. Later, Lyria and Viwaren sit in Sirokart's shop waiting for Gran. On the way, Catalina scolds Gran for being so reckless, saying he could have died by jumping like that. Gran says he only wanted to save people. She asks what would have happened if he had failed. Gran replies that he had complete trust in Lyria's power. Catalina tells him that from now on, he must consult her before doing anything and that she is like his guardian. Gran apologizes to her. At the shop, Lyria lets Gran touch the gemstone given by the lady. As soon as he does, he sees a vision of a volcano erupting and a city being destroyed. However, Catalina and Viwaren cannot see anything. Sirokart asks if this is sky map magic. Catalina explains that it is part of Astra's ancient heritage, fragments that must be gathered to pass through the Dark Gate. Lyria says that when she touches it, she feels like she is in another place, red mountains and a building emitting smoke. Sirokart thinks for a moment and says that this description sounds like the state of vaults. That night, Gran cannot sleep and goes to Rakham. He says he wants Rakham to become the captain of their ship. He shows him his father's letter, in which his father wrote that he would wait for him on Estalucia. Rakham says he has only heard stories about Estalucia and does not know if it truly exists, but if Gran wants to go there, then he will go with him. In the morning, Catalina once again asks Rakham if he is sure he is coming with them. Rakham laughs and says he is a captain and will not let their ship fall. Meanwhile, the two boys report to the commander that they failed to capture Catalina. Sirokart gives them a secret mission that they will receive in vaults. Catalina asks Gran what the captain's orders are. Gran is surprised but declares that they are heading to vaults. When they arrive at vaults, they see a massive volcano. A port worker asks who the captain is. Rakham points to Gran, and the worker mocks them, saying their captain is such a small child. Catalina explains that steel is made from lava in this city. Just then, Sirokart appears and says they look amazed by the city. Catalina asks how she got there and she laughs, saying she is everywhere. Sirokart hands them the mission papers and warns them that the people here get nervous around strangers. They go to explore the market. The items are beautiful, but the streets are nearly empty, and the few people present move away from them. When they reach the place where Sirokart arranged the meeting with the client, she introduces them. The man introduces himself and says he is from intelligence. He asks if they are the ones who saved the island from the Lady of the Winds. Rakham replies that they are and that they work under Gran's leadership. The man tells them that their mission is extremely important and secret. They must find their missing prince and bring him back, and the operation must remain completely confidential so that the public does not learn of the prince's disappearance. He further explains that the prince had connections with the emperor, and they suspect the emperor may be involved in his disappearance. Catalina says the mission is very dangerous and significant, then looks at Gran and asks whether they will accept it. Without hesitation, Gran says they will accept the mission at all costs. They split into two teams to gather as much information as possible. They move through the city asking people about the prince. Many refuse to speak, but one woman talks to them. She says the prince was very friendly and loved spending time among the people. He often walked through the streets and performed tricks and magic for children. Lyria asks what kind of magic. The woman's son says their prince performed beautiful magic. Her daughter says he once gave her a beautiful flower. She then asks where he has gone. They suddenly realize someone has been secretly listening to them, but that person disappears. At the same time, Gran, Rakam, and Vuren are speaking to a woman who runs a weapon shop. She says some people claim that the prince was working with the emperor to create a weapon capable of destroying the world. Rakam says those must be rumors but asks where they started. She replies that the emperor's ships have been visiting frequently lately, though she does not believe the rumors. Her assistant adds that the prince had been ordering large amounts of iron and raw materials. Why would he be gathering so much? The woman scolds him for believing such rumors, and he says he trusts that the prince was doing something for their benefit. The group regathers and shares their information. Once again, the hidden person watches them and then suddenly vanishes. They decide to go to the place where the prince was last seen. The location is empty and covered in sand. Catalina warns them that someone is following them and hiding with magic. Suddenly they hear a girl scream. They rush toward the sound and see 3 small beasts chasing a girl. Gran attacks one and Catalina strikes another, causing the beasts to flee immediately. Catalina says the one who had been watching them turned out to be a little girl. The girl angrily shouts that she is not a child, she is a magician. She demands to know what they know about her master, the prince. They take her with them and ask what her relationship is with the prince and why she was spying on them. She says her name is Leo. The prince had been teaching her magic. He was extremely talented at creating machines. However, ever since some strange people from the empire came to meet him, he began behaving oddly, and after that he suddenly disappeared. She has been searching for him ever since. When she saw them, she thought they might have information about him. Rakam says they will handle the mission and that she is just a child who could be in danger. Leo insists that she has made up her mind and will go with them on the ship. It is her first time flying on a ship and she is amazed. They ask her which places the prince used to visit. She mentions several locations but says she searched everywhere except one place, the old stone castle. Gran orders that they head there. They reach the castle and it appears empty with no one around. Rakam says it is impossible that anyone even lives here. Leo says she can feel the prince's magic presence here. She enters and points with her magic staff. Suddenly, stairs appear, leading to a secret passage. They descend into a cold area filled with large devices. Lyria feels a very bad sensation there. Suddenly, the 2 boys who fought them on the island appear. One of them tells Lyria that what she is feeling is a beast. Rakam shouts at them, asking what they are doing there and whether they want to fight again. One of the boys says they are not there to find them. They are with their master. From behind them, a man steps forward along with a small girl. The moment Catalina sees him, she loses her temper and shouts, asking what he is doing there. Gran asks who he is. Catalina angrily replies that he is the Black Knight, the emperor's advisor. She demands to know where the prince is. The Black Knight calmly says not to ask him, because he is also searching for the prince. He explains that their prince had formed an alliance with them to combine the crystal with his machines in order to create a new weapon. But after that, he suddenly disappeared. Then he says that the prince's real mission was Lyria, so that he could turn her into a puppet. Pointing toward the girl standing beside him, he says, just like she is my puppet. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurs there, and from within the smoke a mechanical beast emerges. Leo shouts that this is the prince's magic. She runs toward it and says, I'm Leo, don't you remember? The beast attacks her, and Gran somehow manages to save her. Rakam tries to pull her back, but Leo still keeps trying to talk to it. For a few moments the beast actually becomes calm. Rakam raises his weapon, takes aim, and shoots the beast down. Gran gives the order for everyone to fall back and move to a safe place. Leo cries and says that maybe her voice isn't reaching him. Lyria says no, he did hear her voice and for a few moments he even calmed down. They just need to try again. Meanwhile, Catalina says they should look for clues here. Lyria says that a voice is calling her. She feels like the mechanical beast was speaking to her, and she points in a certain direction. They follow that voice and on the way Leo talks about the prince. She says that when the prince got absorbed in machines and magic books, he would even forget to eat or drink. Sometimes when she went to meet him, he would be completely covered in grease and wouldn't even notice her. But he used to teach her magic tricks to make her laugh. He was very kind and she is completely sure that he could never do anything evil. They reach a building and see a gigantic mechanical beast there. Lyria asks, "Are you the one who was calling me?" From a distance, the prince's voice echoes asking, "Who are you people? And what are you doing here?" Leo asks him what he is doing here and whether he won't come back. Ignoring her, the prince asks what they know about his research. Gran says they are looking for him and want him to come with them. The prince replies that he is not finished yet. This mechanical beast is useless without her power. He points toward Lyria and says that because of her, he has not been able to complete his plan to protect the VTS. Meanwhile, the Black Knight and his men are hiding behind a wall. The advisor orders his puppet to give power to the beast. The beast strikes the ground and the earth begins to crack. Catalina attacks as well, but it has no effect. Rakam fires his firearm, but it is useless. Lyria and Gran step forward together. Lyria gives him her power and Gran attacks with all his strength, but it only leaves a small scratch. Leo also tries to stop the magic but fails. Then Lyria gives her power to Leo as well. Magic and crystal power combine, and when they attack together for the first time the beast is affected and steps back slightly. Lyria tells Leo that if they unite they can defeat it. Catalina tells Gran and Rakam that they will try to hold it back, and when they get the chance they should attack together. Immediately, Catalina strikes the beast's head, Gran attacks its legs and Rakam fires at it. The beast falls down. Seeing this, the prince shouts for it to get up and burn them immediately. The beast rises again, slams the ground and releases volcanic lava. But Lyria and Leo together stop the attack. They become even stronger and finally destroy the beast. The prince falls beside it and angrily says, "Now who will protect the VTS?" Leo goes to him and hits him, saying, "Don't you want us to be happy? We can't be happy with this machine. There are many other ways to protect the VTS." She requests him to come with them and says they don't want to lose him. Meanwhile, the advisor secretly orders his men to retreat, and suddenly the place begins to collapse. However, the mechanical beast protects them with its own body. When they return to the castle, Leo tells her story. She says that when she was little, her father died from the plague, and she was left completely alone, which made her very sad. Then she met the prince. He tried to make her happy, taught her magic and took care of her. Lyria tearfully says that this is why she was ready to do anything to save him. She says she also does not know her parents, and Catalina has always been with her. If something happened to her, she cannot even imagine how she would feel. That is why she understands Leo. Leo smiles and thanks her for helping, and with a magic trick she gives Lyria a flower, which makes her very happy. Viren asks why the prince always thought about making children happy. Leo says he never told the reason but he always tried to keep them happy. Then the prince says that children are the future of the nation. That is why he cared about them. He tried hard to stabilize the island, but there was always some external threat. To protect them he needed a great power. Leo asks what that threat was. The prince says that a stranger once came to meet him and gave him something, saying it was a source of power. After that, he does not remember anything. He apologizes for everything he has done. Looking at the others, he thanks them for taking care of Leo and helping her. He admits that using the mechanical beast this way was his mistake. In the end, he says that when it was destroyed, he heard its voice. Lyria tells him that the beast was not wounded because of him. It saved him from death and chose its final mission to protect him. It left behind a sky map for him and gave him a red crystal. He refuses to take it and tells Lyria that the beast must have wanted to tell her something, and she should keep it. Lyria thanks him and they prepare to continue their journey. Leo asks Gran where he wants to go. Gran says Astral Island, where his father is waiting for him. Gran and Lyria touch the map and see a blue island. Catalina recognizes it and says that it is August Island. Rakam confirms and says it is surrounded by an ocean on all sides. Gran and Lyria ask what an ocean is. Rakam smiles and says they will find out when they get there. In the morning, the prince comes to the harbor to see them off. The people are very happy to see him again. From a distance, Leo comes running. Rakam says it's good she came to say goodbye. She replies that she didn't come to say goodbye, she will continue traveling with them. She wants to become a great magician, and she has made her decision. The prince says he gave her permission to speak her mind, not to force her stubbornness. Leo replies that if she wanted, she could have secretly hidden on the ship using magic. Hearing this, everyone laughs. The prince tells Gran that he hopes he is willing to take her along. Gran smiles and says he has no problem, she will stay with them. The others also welcome her. On the way, they take Sierra along because she is going to open a new shop on an island along the route to August Isle. She tells them that if they buy anything from her shop, she will give them a big discount because they helped her a lot. She says that in 2 days she will prepare all the necessary supplies for their journey. Meanwhile, some ruins have been discovered on the island, and people have asked her to work there. Rakam interrupts and says not to tell him that in exchange for supplies she has given them this mission. Sierra laughs and says it is part of her job to make sure talents like theirs are not wasted. Rakam, embarrassed, thanks her. Catalina says they have 2 free days so they can help her. Gran asks where the ruins are. Sierra says to wait and she quickly draws them a map. They set out to search for the ruins and in the middle of the forest, see a large, beautiful castle. Rakam says they should go inside and explore it. Catalina stops him, saying that no one has discovered this place before, so they need to be very careful. Rakam replies that if they don't go inside, how will they ever know what is there? Leo also says that they should go inside and see for themselves. Suddenly, the ground beneath Lyria collapses and she gets stuck halfway above and halfway below. Gran tries to save her, but the ground beneath him also breaks. Then the ground under everyone gives way and they all fall somewhere underground. They land in a large area but in separate sections. Gran, Rakam and Leo are on one side while Lyria, Catalina and Viren are on the other. Catalina says that maybe this place is a trap meant to capture strangers, or perhaps it is very old and collapsing. But right now the important thing is to reach Gran and the others. Viren says he will fly and look for them, but bats attack from above. Catalina kills them and says it is not safe to go alone here. Lyria also says that she can feel Gran's presence. On the other side, Gran says that he can feel Lyria's life force too. He does not know the exact location but he knows the direction. He shows the way and as they move forward, they see a strong current of water rushing out from a gate. Leo uses her magic to create a whirl of air and stops the water, allowing them to move ahead. Meanwhile, Lyria is leading Catalina and Viwaren, but the direction does not seem clear. She says that now she feels Gran everywhere. Viwaren says that Gran's senses are very sharp. The first time they saw her, it was his senses that led them to her. Catalina says that Gran has always been careless. Viwaren replies that when they were little, Gran always wanted to rely on himself. He says he is proud of him and now he will help him until he meets his father. On the other side, Ratkam gives Leo a torch and tells her not to exhaust herself too much, saying that adults will handle it. Leo angrily says that she is not a child and they begin arguing. Gran laughs and says that their fight reminds him of Viwaren. Suddenly they hear screams and explosions. They see that two girls are being chased by a sand beast. One girl says that this beast is guarding the treasure. She throws bombs at it but they have no effect. Gran saves one of the girls and Ratkam fires at the beast, but it keeps regenerating. Gran slashes it with his sword, creating a gap. The girls throw bombs inside but it reforms again. Gran says that everyone should attack together at once. Leo creates a powerful stream of water, and finally the beast is destroyed at that moment, the ceiling above breaks and Lyria, Catalina, and Viwaren fall down from above. The two girls seem interested only in the treasure gate there. The door opens and inside there is nothing but gold. However, Gran's eyes fall on a sword placed in the middle. As soon as he grabs it, a bright light spreads and all the gold disappears from that place. After that, they return to Sierra's shop. Sierra apologizes that because she trusted the treasure, she could not pay them. She says they can consider the sword and the food she will provide as payment. Catalina says it is fine. Ratkam also says that they were not working for a reward. Gran gives the sword to the girls and says they deserve it. They reply that they do not need it, without him they would have died, and they return the sword to him. After that, they fly toward August Isles. On the way, Lyria has a dream in which she has killed Gran and the others. Gran wakes her up and says they have reached August Isles. Catalina says that it is the only island surrounded by an ocean on all sides. Lyria and Leo are amazed by its beauty. Ratkam says to get ready because they are about to land on water. Leo panics and says they will die if they land on water. They reach the port but the place is empty. Lyria says she senses the presence of a weak beast here. Gran says he does not feel anything but notices a strange smell. They follow the direction of the smell and see strange parasite-like bodies on the shore, with smoke rising in the distance. A man from a boat is shouting at them not to go near the smoke because they are burning things there. The man recognizes Ratkam and is surprised. His name is Eugene, an old friend of Ratkam. He asks if Ratkam has repaired his ship and started flying again. Ratkam says yes, they are now traveling the world with it. Eugene jokingly points at Catalina and asks if she is his wife and if the others are his children. Ratkam laughs and says no, they are skyfarers. Eugene takes them to the city and explains that August Island is at war against the Earthly Empire because they are polluting the sea through their experiments. They have the support of the Sea Guardian Dragon. Gran says they are heading to Astral Island. Eugene laughs and says they are very brave. They reach a beautiful city built on water, where Eugene arranges for them to stay. Just then, a soldier brings in an injured man and says a beast attacked him. Leo heals him with magic and Eugene is surprised, asking if she knows healing magic. Leo says she is a magician and will help the other injured people too. Eugene asks Catalina to train the soldiers and she immediately agrees. He tells Ratkam to repair the ship. Ratkam first refuses but then agrees. Gran and Lyria also want to help. Ratkam tells them to bring supplies from the market and explore the city. They both become very happy. At the market, Lyria stops in front of a restaurant and is amazed by a strange-looking fish. She asks what it is. The shopkeeper is surprised and says she has never heard of August's food. Nearby people say she must try their food. An old man steps in and tells them not to trouble customers. When he learns they are travelers, he invites them to stay at his place. Gran politely refuses, saying they cannot waste time in the middle of their mission. Meanwhile, the chef prepares food within seconds. As always, the sound of Lyria's stomach betrays her. Gran asks about the bill, but the restaurant owner smiles and says that if they like the food, they should come again and bring their friends and family. A chef comments that his selling skills are impressive because nothing is better than investing in the future. Gran and Lyria eat, and Lyria happily says that everyone should eat together because food tastes better when shared. Meanwhile, Ratkam finishes his work and sits with Eugene. He says that from the beginning this was Eugene's plan, to bring them along because he lacks workers. Eugene says that Ratkam must repay his favors, but he has changed a lot. The old Ratkam would never hand over leadership of his beloved ship to a child. Ratkam replies that it is Gran's life dream. Gran is simple and sincere and he just wants to help him. Eugene cunningly says that this is happening because Rakkam has grown old. Meanwhile, Leo and Viwaran also finish their work and arrive. Eugene says that tonight's dinner will be delicious because it is his turn to cook. Suddenly, the sound of an explosion echoes. They see that Catalina had set the kitchen on fire. In the market, Lyria is amazed looking at the jewelry and asks the shopkeeper what they are. He explains that they are jewels made from shells and sea coral. It is said that keeping them with you protects you. Each color represents a different mission. Lyria really likes the blue one, and the shopkeeper says that the color blue strengthens relationships between people. Gran buys it and puts it on Lyria. It starts raining and they sit somewhere to take shelter. Lyria says that today reminds her of the day when they first went shopping on the island. That same day, Catalina gave her a diary. She says she writes about every day in it, the day they met and all their adventures. Today she wrote about the beautiful city built on water and about the gift he gave her. Just then, the city bells ring, the rain stops, and a rainbow appears in the sky. Suddenly, Gran remembers that he forgot to buy the last item on Eugene's list. He tells Lyria that he will go alone to get it. On the way, he meets a woman who tells him to be careful and then suddenly disappears. Meanwhile, Lyria is sitting alone when masked men arrive and kidnap her. At the same time, Gran feels something strange and returns, but he cannot find Lyria. He sees Lyria's hair floating in a boat on the river and follows it, but they pass outside the gates and the doors close. Then a warship attacks the city. They kill the leader of the people and capture the rest. Lyria asks why they are killing the residents and how they can be so cruel. The commander says they have to be cruel to the islanders because she was hiding there. If she had not run away, these people would have been safe. Everything that happened is because of her. Now she must cooperate or they will kill the others too. Lyria says she will not cooperate with them. She wants to continue her journey with her people. The commander laughs and says she is just a tool who is not allowed to travel. The mages left her for them. She is like a weapon for them, just like the weapon he is holding in his hand right now. He kills a man, and Lyria cries and says she is not a tool and she does not kill people. He replies that it is only because she has forgotten. He will remind her what a terrifying tool she is. He orders them to bring the crystal and brings it near her. Lyria begins to remember how many beasts she killed during an experiment. The commander says she is a destructive tool who cannot live among ordinary people. If people learn about her power, they will use it for destruction. Lyria says that her team does not kill anyone. He replies that just her being with them will bring trouble to them, and in the end, she will be the one who kills them. Lyria remembers her dream. Then the commander breaks her blue hair ornament. At that moment, Gran's voice is heard from afar. He has defeated all the soldiers. Lyria is silently crying, and the commander tells her that he has only reminded her of her truth. Suddenly, the guardian dragon emerges from the water and splits the commander's ship into two pieces. The warships attack it, but the dragon destroys them as well. The commander asks Lyria if she wants to destroy everything again and strikes her. Gran attacks him and kicks him to the ground. The rest of the team arrives there, but Lyria remains silent. Gran sees that the dragon has a red crystal, which means someone evil is controlling it. He says he has to save it. Catalina says they need to retreat for now. They run, but suddenly plants wrap around them and lift them into the air. The mysterious girl who had warned Gran in the market rescues them and takes them to a safe place. Lyria still does not wake up. Leo uses her healing magic, but it has no effect. Eugene says that maybe this is because of the guardian dragon. The girl explains that the dragon was not like this before. The Empire polluted the sea, which changed it, but that is not the reason for Lyria's condition. She has separated her own mind from reality. Catalina asks what they should do to save her. The girl says the treatment is not easy. If they forcefully wake her up, it could cause a huge problem. For now, only Gran can communicate with her. Rakkam asks who she is and who she works for. She says those are her secrets, but she will not harm them. She says she has the cure for Lyria, so they should think carefully. Then she leaves. After that, Eugene's assistant arrives and says that the sea level has risen again and the water has turned polluted. Eugene and Rakkam go down while the rest of the team stays with Lyria. Gran asks Catalina why the commander said, "Destroy everything again." Catalina explains that the Empire experimented on Lyria with beasts. She had summoned something that could wipe out an entire island, and they still do not know what it was. After that, Lyria was imprisoned, and Catalina was chosen to monitor her. At the beginning, Lyria seemed like a tool without emotions. But over time, Catalina realized that she could feel. She just could not express it. Catalina taught her how to speak, write, and feel. Eventually, Lyria began to long for the outside world. That is why Catalina let her escape, and that is how they met Gran. Catalina says that Gran taught Lyria what she could not teach her. With him, Lyria was truly happy. Gran says sadly, "But I couldn't protect her." Catalina replies, "You're just a child. It was my responsibility to protect her, but you gave her happiness." Later, Vern asks Gran, "What are you thinking about?" Gran says, "If I had to say something to Lyria, what would I say? What happened that made her isolate herself from the world?" Vern replies, "Your lives are connected. Only you can talk to her." Gran goes to Rosetta. She says, we will have to go to a beast. Only that beast can help us. Gran tells Ricam, this is the only way. Ricam says, I don't trust Rosetta, but you're the captain. I'll stand by you. Eugene angrily says, why am I never included in decisions? Lyria is my friend too. The team prepares to take flight. Ricam says goodbye to Eugene and promises to meet again after completing the mission. In the end, Syra also arrives on the island to provide them with food and supplies because their supplies had decreased due to the war. She bids farewell to the team and tells Eugene that everything he requested is ready. Catalina says to Rosetta, in this mission we are depending on you. Rosetta replies, trust me. Then she tells Gran, our destination is Lemise Island. While flying through the sky, Gran looks worried and very sad. Ricam senses his concern but tells Rosetta, I don't trust you, so don't try anything strange. She smiles and says, you pay too much attention to every detail. Ricam replies, anyone would be surprised why you're helping us without a clear reason. After some time they reach their destination. It is a very lush, green island. Rosetta says, this is called Lemise Island. Catalina is carrying Lyria. Lyria is seeing a dream where she is in a huge place surrounded by books, and the ground is stained with blood. She tries to reach her team and they appear in front of her. But as soon as she touches Gran, he disappears and the rest of the team also vanishes. Then a voice says, you are a weapon of destruction that can erase anyone. She asks, am I the reason for their deaths? The voice says, you are the cause of every destruction. Her blue hairpin also disappears and she falls down. The place around her turns into snow. Meanwhile, the others walk along long sloping paths on the island. Ricam anxiously asks, is this the only way? Rosetta replies, no, there are other paths, but this is the easiest. They reach a large, beautiful tree. Rosetta says, we're here. She speaks to the tree, come out. I've brought some guests for you. Suddenly, a small, very beautiful girl appears. Rosetta says, this is the beast of the abundant forest. She will help us. The forest girl hugs Rosetta. Leo asks, are you two friends? Rosetta replies, more than friends. We're family. The forest girl looks at Lyria sadly. Rosetta explains, this girl was hurt so deeply that she isolated herself from the world. Gran requests her to heal Lyria somehow. The forest girl smiles and spreads her feet, and plants grow to create a comfortable resting place. Rosetta explains what the forest girl is saying because she can communicate with her. She says that she will connect Gran to Lyria so he can talk to her. Gran holds Lyria's hand, and the forest girl holds his other hand. After that, Gran enters Lyria's consciousness. Inside, it is like a dark ocean, and deep within, Lyria is surrounded by ice. He asks, what are you feeling? Lyria says, these books are the memories of my other personality. These memories don't let me reconnect with you. I erased myself so that I wouldn't hurt people by becoming a weapon. She shows him the memory of Abundant Island and says, I erased it when I asked my beast for help. The entire island disappeared. I am the reason. Gran says, the Emperor forced you. She replies, this is my power. I destroy everything. I am just a puppet meant to kill people. That is the truth I want to forget. All the problems in our journey were because of me because I wanted you to help me. Gran tries to come closer but she warns him, don't come near me or I might destroy everything again. Gran says, you didn't destroy anything in our journey. You helped us with your power. She shouts, Catalina was once an excellent soldier, and now the Emperor is after her because of me. You too will die because of me. Gran replies, it's not your fault. Catalina chose to help you. Lyria says, without you I could never have fulfilled my childhood dream. You made my dream come true. Then she shouts, but you could have achieved your dream without this problem. I ruined your future. You and Catalina will always help me and in return I will hurt you. I don't want to hurt anyone close to me again. She begins pushing Gran out of her consciousness and says, I should disappear. I will give you my whole life. Gran shouts, Lyria, you're misunderstanding. She says, from the beginning I should have given you my whole life, not half. Gran begs her, I don't want to continue this journey without you. At that moment her hairpin falls near him. She calms down and holds it. Gran reaches her again and says, Leo and Vern fixed it. Catalina and Ricam told me to return it to you. He says, you didn't destroy anyone. Our bond and friendship exist because of you. You chose the blue hairpin because it connects us. You didn't ruin our future. You created our friendship. Everyone outside is waiting for you. We have to continue this journey together. Suddenly, the darkness fades and a rainbow appears. Lyria says, this scene looks like the one we saw in the city. Gran says, but this time I won't leave you. I will protect you and your friends. Both of them wake up and the entire team is shocked. As soon as Lyria speaks, Catalina hugs her and starts crying. Lyria says, sorry for worrying you. Ricam says, now we can continue the journey together again. Suddenly, the forest girl disappears and a war signal is heard. Warships appear in the sky. Commander Palmer is planning to erase the entire island and orders his soldiers to burn the forest. Catalina steps forward and says, I won't let you harm the islanders. He replies, good that you showed up. I need to retrieve the tool left by Estelle and Crystal. Gran says, Lyria is not a weapon. The commander replies, she is a destructive weapon, even if she doesn't use her full power. Catalina says, Lyria knows the value of her power and how to control it. You are the ones who destroy islands for experiments. Ricam adds, you polluted the sea and ruined the island. The commander says, then I'll have to use my force. He takes out a purple crystal, and the beasts of the forest appear. He had been controlling them with the crystal. Plants suddenly rise from the ground. Rosetta says, I won't let the forest be harmed. The team attacks the soldiers. Gran charges at the commander and breaks the crystal. The commander pulls out his weapon and aims at Gran. Lyria steps in between and summons the primal beast Time. She says, I know on whom to use my power. Time unleashes a storm and the commander drowns in the sea. After that, Rosetta disappears again. Ricam says, she helped us so much. I misunderstood her. Lyria says, the Sea Lord is calling me. Since I arrived on this island, he has been speaking to me. He wants to protect the sea and the islanders, but pollution is stopping him. He needs our help. Ricam says, we are with you. Catalina adds, whatever help is needed, we will give it. That is our mission. Gran orders, let's return to August. From afar, Rosetta bids them farewell and says, Gran will surely succeed because he is the son of the man who went on my greatest journey with me. Meanwhile, in August, the Sea Lord loses control and attacks the city. The city forces attack with bombs and cannons, but it has no effect. He also attacks Eugene. Suddenly, the primal beast automation appears, summoned by Lyria, and protects Eugene. Eugene says, I'm glad to see you again, but the situation is bad. Our guardian is attacking us. Gran offers his help, but Eugene says, he's much stronger than us. We need to evacuate the residents. Lyria says, we have to help the guardian beast. He lost his strength fighting pollution. If we don't help, he might die. Eugene orders the soldiers to clear the path, and they head toward the highest point in the city. The guardian beast attacks them with small parasitic monsters. Then girls from Ruin Island, Mary and Carva, arrive and help them. Soldiers clear the path, but the number of monsters doubles. A woman surrounded by butterflies appears and kills the monsters in one strike. A man attacks with large stones, a girl charges fiercely, and a boy moves forward with lightning speed. Even then, the monsters gather for a massive attack as if someone is controlling them. Gran senses something strange. In the middle, there is a different monster controlling them all. More knights arrive to help. One knight slices a monster into two, but it regenerates. Eugene targets the separate monster and kills it. The remaining monsters go berserk. He shouts, now is the chance to save the guardian beast. Lyria summons the forest girl and transfers her power to Gran. Gran attacks the guardian dragon and targets the crystal. As he gets closer, the heat becomes intense and he starts burning. Lyria feels his pain and gives him more of her power. The crystal finally explodes. Eugene speaks to the dragon, you have always protected me. You saved my daughter from drowning. The guardian dragon disappears and leaves behind a new map for Lyria. Suddenly, the Black Knight counselor appears and orders his puppet, who absorbs Lyria's power. Lyria asks, this girl is like me, tell me about our origin. He says, it's time to know the truth, and leaves. In the city, Syra celebrates the mission's success, with knights participating. Lyria says, I want to meet the counselor's girl again. Maybe I can learn about myself. I'm scared, but being with all of you gives me courage. Eugene thanks her and says, without you we couldn't have saved the island. Do you need one more member in your team? I want to join your journey. Ricam asks, but why? Eugene replies, your life is exciting, and I have something I've always avoided that I need to do. Gran smiles and says, you're welcome. Leo smiles and says, the more people we have, the more fun it will be. After the celebration, they prepare to fly toward a new destination. The islanders bid them farewell with a grand celebration. Then they fly off on their new journey, and with that, the season comes to an end. If you liked the video, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and tell us in the comment section how you like this story.